This is our story about going to Romania's famous region, Transylvania. It's renowned as the home of Dracula, but there is more to see than vampires. We'll look into the cooking pots and try out Romanian flavors. We'll be transported back in time to 100 years ago. We'll discover beautiful landscapes, cities, culture, and we'll see the people and their way of life.
Hello, Chester.
Our journey starts in Brașov, where we rented a holiday apartment. We are surprised to find out that the biggest festival in Romania is ongoing, the Brasov Oktoberfest. Every year, during 10 days in September, up to 350,000 visitors come here to have fun and feast on German and Romanian culinary delights. The Brasov Oktoberfest is very similar to the Oktoberfest in Munich. The great interest in German culture does not come by chance. Since the 12th century, the so-called Transylvanian German Saxons have had a home here and are today one of the national minorities in Romania. When you see the appreciation for beer and traditional costumes, you might think you are in Bavaria. Just like Germans, Romanians are huge meat lovers. Every tourist in Romania wants to see Dracula's castle from Bram Stoker's novel. It's the most visited site in Romania, with about 560,000 tourists per year.
Oh, nice, beautiful. Foarte bun, is okay.
Este foarte bun. Este foarte frumos.
Foarte frumos. This is Constantin from Constanța, by the sea in Romania.
Nice to meet you.
And this is Count Dracula.
Tourists coming to Bran should not forget the clove of garlic, because the place is haunted by Count Dracula and other ghosts. Bran is a very commercial place, and vampire tourism is fostered here, although neither Bram Stoker's fictional Dracula nor the real Count Vlad Dracul, where tens of thousands of Turkish prisoners impaled and inspired Stoker's novel, lived here.
Foarte bun.
The so-called Kurdish kalach, a traditional tube-shaped sweet pastry made from raised dough and coated in sugar, nuts and cinnamon, is a must try.
Oh my god, how is it?
Delicious.
It looks delicious.
Cinnamon and nuts.
I need to try it.
And still a lot to go here.
In the evening, mystical silence awakens, but the castle is not a place to be afraid of. It only resembles the description in the novel and was cleverly declared as Dracula's castle by the Romanian Tourist Board. Now we would like to discover the rural side of Transylvania. It's nice to see that traditional life here is being kept alive by a determined group of locals and organizations. Now we have real homemade bread. And this lady here.
Yeah.
What's your name? Your name? I'm Nicole. Your name is? Name? No problem. Viskre, or also called Deutsch Weißkirch in German, is one of the most famous villages in Transylvania. It's one of the many former Saxon villages that were founded by the medieval German colonists who settled there to help defend the borders against the Tatars and Turks in exchange for rights. Before the First World War, more than 800,000 people of the German-speaking minority lived throughout Romania, a large part in Transylvania. Under communism, many left the country. Today, there are about 30,000 Transylvanian Saxons still living here. Transylvania in German is called Siebenbürgen, which means 7 fortified towns, built by the Germans, along with hundreds of impressive fortified churches, like this one in Viskre. A big fan of Viskre is also Prince Charles, who came here for the first time in 1998 and since then has been involved in the preservation of this and other villages in Transylvania. In the evening, we admire one of the many fortresses here in the Transylvania region. Rupea Fortress is one of the oldest medieval fortresses in Romania, located close to Viskri. We are in Harman, or also called Honigberg. Yes, the village name is German again. The influence of the German settlers who came about 800 years ago is clearly visible everywhere. We are curious to find out how this nice UNESCO Saxon fortified church looks like from the inside. We are welcomed in German by a friendly person from the local Transylvanian Saxon community. Amazing how the inner compound looks like. The former rooms are showcased as a small museum, here a traditional Saxon bedroom. These rooms were used in the past to house not only the local garrison, but also the citizens in times of war. The fortified church is surrounded by 12 meters high inner wall and 7 defensive towers. The church itself is lovely. The pillows, blankets and wooden benches make it really cozy. Turning away from the historical side, we see the real present-day side of Romania. Romania's EU presidency has raised awareness of the millions of Roma, many of whom live on the outskirts of towns and villages. They are often discriminated against and lack access to jobs, housing, healthcare and education. Many of them are day laborers. Also, poverty and hunger are still a problem in Romania, where around 10% of the population lives on less than $5.5 a day. Romania's economic situation is poor, and EU funds are crucial, even though it has achieved impressive growth over the past 2 decades. In 2022, Austria voted against Romania joining the Schengen area due to the increase in illegal migration. This was a big disappointment for Romania, which wanted to be part of the Schengen zone without stationary border controls, and thus could have benefited economically.
Und du bist aus diesem.
There are many Romanian families with children living in difficult circumstances.
Ach so, aha, deine Mama. Ich verstehe nicht.
To find out more about life in Romania, check out our second video where we go on a road trip throughout the country and also meet a family in a precarious situation. We explore more of the rural area until we reach this quiet little provincial town of Rasnov, or Rosenau in German. The real highlight of Rasnov is its beautiful fortress. At the parking, it was so nice to see the locals with their kids who also like to come here on weekends.
2 tickets to the fortress. Can we also walk or 10 minutes?
It smells so good. It smells like sugar and cinnamon.
Sugar.
The sweet temptations, the little trains that take you up to the fortress, the tractors and the largest dinosaur theme park in East Europe are an attraction for young and old. The Rasnov Citadel is an impressive 13th century fortress built on the top of the mountain, from where you can see the mountainous region. And it's located at an elevation of 200 meters above the town of Rasnov. We are on the way to Magura, a sweet escape from the city. To reach this place in the mountains, we pass near poor residential areas and traditional villages. Here we are. Romanians say that if heaven were a place on earth, it would look like this. A Romanian dinner completes the heavenly feeling. We are back in Brașov, or Kronstadt in German, that was originally founded by German knights. The pretty town has 250,000 inhabitants and is located about 2 hours' drive north of Bucharest. The center of the old town is Piața Sfatului Square, with the black church in the middle. Of course, the Dracula cult is also well used here to catch the attention of tourists.
The shop belongs, let's say, to a big family, and this is the first shop in the local market, and quite cold because we're in between the mountains, and it's quite like Switzerland up in the mountain, you know.
The city life of Brașov is vibrant with many cafes, stores, bars and good restaurants. We discover more of Brașov and are reminded of the many conquests the city has gone through. This statue commemorates the end of the First World War. Romania is considered one of the most religious countries in Europe. This Gothic Orthodox church of St. Nicholas of Myra is truly magical. Magical is also the panoramic view that awaits us after a 1-hour hike up the city's mountain Tampa. From there you can see the Eastern Carpathians. And the lovely city with the black church and the city hall in the center. We are in the Brașov Hollywood Hills, as the locals humorously call them, one of the most expensive residential areas in Romania. On the sidewalks we often see these rat traps. Apparently there is a problem with them. Nevertheless, Brașov is considered one of Romania's cities with the highest quality of life. The city enjoys great popularity not only among Romanians, but also among tourists from all over the world, and in winter there is ski tourism in the mountains. Tourism alone accounts for 40% of the economic performance in Kronstadt County. In addition, many German companies have settled here after Romania joined the EU in 2007. Although Romania is still one of the poorest EU countries, the example of Brașov shows how a region can catch up with the European average. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, and don't forget to let us know your feedback.